Hey there and welcome to another monthly Bald Prairie Real Estate Canadian housing market update. If you're new here, my name's Matthew, that's Matilda, and this is the most comprehensive Canadian-wide monthly housing market update you're gonna find on YouTube. But I have to apologize that I've got this out way later than I normally do. I like getting these out the first week of the month. I have been absolutely swamped with work, and I've got some exciting news for what's coming new for Bald Prairie Real Estate, so stay tuned in the video when I'm going to chat about that. Last month, I told you that we were at a turning point in the Canadian real estate market, and this month's stats absolutely show that is true. The buyer frenzy we were seeing early on in the year, well, that is now long past us. We're seeing a completely different market than what we saw even just a couple of months ago. But it's not the same across the country. We're seeing some areas of the country where there's a significant slowdown, and other cities are setting sales records for the most number of homes sold in a single month. A couple of days ago, I asked you guys which city you thought had just set a record for the most number of homes sold in a single month, and nearly 50% of you guys said it's gotta be Calgary, and nearly 50% of you guys are wrong, because the correct answer, which only had about 10% of the guesses, was Regina Saskatchewan, my market. And before I get into the market update, and of course another terrible joke, one thing you may notice is that the benchmark price in some of these cities has changed a little bit more than you might be expecting. And that's because the Canadian Real Estate Association, which puts together this benchmark price, did some fine tuning on the algorithm. What they wanted to accomplish was actually making it more responsive to market changes. That had been always a critique of the benchmark price, is that it was slow to respond to market changes. So they have done so, and you're going to see in some cities a more significant jump up or jump down in that dollar value, but the percentage changes are not going to change, because I went back and updated all of my charts back going at least 5 years back, so that those numbers, although may be different, the percent change will not be different. And what about that terrible joke? Well, how do you count cows in a field? With a calculator. If you have a terrible joke that I can use in a future episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate, put it in the comments below. Like this video if you love learning about real estate, and subscribe if you want to keep up to date on the Canadian real estate market. Victoria had 761 homes sold in a month. That is down 8% from the 5-year average of 823 homes sold in a month. The nearly 1,500 homes put up for sale was up about 6% above the average of 1,400. And active listings continues to increase, just shy of 1,800. That is still down 26% from their 5-year average. Normally there's about 2,250 homes for sale at this time of year in Victoria. And so that means citywide, the months of inventory is 2.3. That's still in a seller's market, but we're edging closer to that balanced territory, which typically you see at about 3 months of inventory. The composite benchmark price in Victoria is over $1 million, and that is up 24% from last year. After 2 years of being absolutely crazy, the Victoria real estate market looks like it's trending back to its more normal patterns. That means there's gonna be more homes for sale, fewer bidding wars. Price appreciation is slowing down for sure, and maybe we're even going to see a little bit of a price correction in Victoria. But any way you put it, we're seeing the things go back to normal, and that's better for everyone. The 2,900 homes sold in Vancouver last month is down about 6% from the 5-year average of a little over 3,100 homes sold in a month. The just shy of 6,400 homes put up for sale in Vancouver last month is up about 10% over the 5-year average, where normally you're going to see about 5,800 homes put up for sale in the month. Currently right now, there's about 10,000 homes for sale in Vancouver. That is still down 13% from the 5-year average. Normally you're going to see about 11,500 homes for sale at this time of the year. And months of inventory in Vancouver is about 1.6. That's still very much a seller's market. The composite benchmark price in Vancouver is $1.26 million, and that is up 14% from last year. Talking with local real estate agents, they said, yes, that frenzy pace that we have seen over the last few years, that's absolutely slowing down. The higher end of the market seems to be where they're seeing even more slowdown, while the more, I'm gonna put this in giant quotations, affordable segments in Vancouver, that price point, and East Vancouver, where typically you see more affordable prices, that is one of the hottest market segments with well under 2 months of inventory. In Calgary, they had almost 3,100 homes sold in the month. That is up 60% from the 5-year average, where normally about 1,900 homes would be sold. And the nearly 4,300 homes put up for sale, well, that's up 16% from the 5-year average. Usually about 3,600 homes would be put up for sale. That big jump in new listings means active inventory also increased. There's now 5,200 homes for sale in Calgary. That's still down 29% from the 5-year average. Normally they're going to see about 7,300 homes for sale this time of year. Months of inventory in Calgary is at 1.2, still very squarely in a seller's market. And that composite benchmark price in Calgary continues to increase, closing in on $550,000, and that is up 15% from last year. Talking with local real estate agents in Calgary, they said that the Toronto and Vancouver foreign buyers, well, they must be spooked because all of a sudden with rate hikes, they're not coming in as much and buying properties, and this is good news for those local people in Calgary, whether they're moving there or they live there already, looking to buy a home to raise their family. You're not competing with those investors as much, but any way you put it, the Calgary real estate market is still one of the hottest markets in Canada right now. In Edmonton, they had about 2,850 homes sold in the month. That's up 47% from the 5-year average of a little under 2,000 homes sold in the month. And just like in Calgary, Edmonton saw a huge spike in new listings. About 4,700 homes were put up for sale in the month. That is up 23% from the 5-year average of about 3,800 homes put up for sale. And the number of homes for sale in Edmonton is about 7,500 right now. That's down 15% from the 5-year average of about 8,800 homes for sale. That means months of inventory in Edmonton is 2.6, and the composite benchmark price in Edmonton has been hovering around $370,000 for a couple of months now. That's still up 8% from last year. The 456 homes sold in Regina last month, well, that is a new monthly record, smashing June of last year, which was 410 homes sold in a month. And that's up 50% over the 5-year average, and only 300 homes are sold in a month. But even with all of those new listings, the number of homes for sale right now, which is hovering right around 1,100, is still well below the 5-year average of 1,500 homes for sale, so we're down about 27% over that 5-year average. And that means months of inventory is 2.3 right now in Regina. The composite benchmark price in Regina is about $330,000. That's way higher than the $271,000 I reported last month. No houses did not go up $60,000 in a month. The way that the composite benchmark price is calculated was tweaked a little bit. I've gone back and updated all my numbers. The percentage change, which is about 6% higher this year versus last year, that is all correct now. So just the numbers changed, but the percentage change is about 6%. What you need to know about the Regina real estate market is that in May is typically when we see the most number of homes put up for sale in a single month. In June is the most number of homes sold in a month. And July is usually when we see the most number of homes currently actively for sale. So quickly, we're gonna see the market kind of peak out here, and then you'll see it slow down for the rest of the year. Saskatoon saw 541 homes sold in a month. That's up 28% over the 5-year average, which is about 400 homes sold in a month typically. The 850 homes that were newly listed in the month, well, that's down 6% from the 5-year average. Normally about 900 houses will be put up for sale in the month. And the approximately 1,100 homes currently for sale in Saskatoon, well, that is down 40% from their 5-year average, where normally you're gonna see about 1,900 homes for sale at this time of year in Saskatoon. So that puts the months of inventory at 2.1 in Saskatoon. The benchmark price in Saskatoon is $375,000. That is up 6% from last year. Talking with real estate agents in Saskatoon, they're telling me that they are seeing kind of a general slowdown in the market, but this is still a very active real estate market in Saskatoon. Of course, single family homes have been a seller's market for the last 2 years, but now we're seeing condos trend into that seller's market territory. Of course, this is a big dramatic change from even just a few years ago, where not only was it a balanced market, it was very much a buyer's market for condos in Saskatoon, and that trend has now changed back to a seller's market. In Winnipeg, there were about 1,700 homes that were sold in a month. That's down 14% from last year. They had about 2,700 homes that were put up for sale in the month. That is a massive jump from the month before and badly needed in Winnipeg. That's up 5% from last year. There's about 2,750 homes currently for sale in Winnipeg, and that is also up 5% from last year. It still means though, months of inventory in Winnipeg is 1.6, very much a seller's market, but it is good to see that they're getting some more inventory in the market right now. And the benchmark price in Winnipeg is about $350,000, and that is up 10% from last year. Talking with agents in Winnipeg, they told me that they're really happy to see more inventory on the market, bringing a little bit more balance. But even still, with all the extra inventory and slowdown in activity, nearly 80% of all the homes sold last month in Winnipeg sold with multiple offers. The number of homes sold and the prices at which those houses are selling is declining in Toronto, and everybody is panicking.
God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
The 7,300 homes sold last month in Toronto, that is down 20% from the 5-year average, which is usually about 9,000 homes sold in a month. And the number of homes listed for sale in a month, well, that's about 18,600. That's up 2% from the 5-year average, about 18,400. That of course pushed the active homes for sale up to 15,400. That is still down 7% from the 5-year average. Normally about 16,200 homes would be up for sale this time of year. And that means months of inventory is 2.1. And we have to go way back to pandemic March of 2020 to see more than 2 months of inventory in Toronto. The composite benchmark price in Toronto, which is all property types combined into one metric, is about $1.3 million. That is up 23% from last year, but it is down about 6% from the peak we saw in February. Now I know that the headlines and the commenters below are saying how prices are down 10, 20, 30%. Understand that that is average house price, and that's typically talking all of Toronto, although they are sometimes breaking out to specific neighborhoods. But again, average can be very easily skewed both up and down. Now I've done an explainer video. I'll put a link to that video in the description. There'll be one of those pop-up cards that's gonna pop up right now. I can show you exactly in that video how easily average house price can be skewed by a massive amount, just changing what types of properties are selling. And that's very much what we're seeing in Toronto right now, is that we're seeing a shift back to the downtown core and apartment style condos versus the more expensive single family homes in the suburbs. Now I know in Toronto, the thought of a house having a price decrease and being on the market for more than a couple of days is absolutely foreign, but in the rest of Canada, that's what we would call normal. Having a house sit on the market for 30, 40, 50 days, that's fairly typical in a lot of markets in Canada, and seeing a house have price reductions is also very normal. So we are seeing that now in Toronto because Toronto is starting to shift back to a far more balanced market than it has been for a very long time. But understand that we're still seeing houses that are priced appropriately for the current market conditions, selling very well and still with multiple offers. But sellers do need to adjust their expectations because they're likely not going to get the prices that they could have got in January and February. In Ottawa, they had 1,850 homes sold in a month. That's down 12% from the 5-year average, where typically almost 2,100 homes would sell in a month. And there were about 3,100 homes put up for sale. That is up 9% from the 5-year average of about 2,900 homes put up for sale. That brings active inventory up to about 2,100 in Ottawa. That is still down 34% from the 5-year average, where normally about 3,200 homes would be for sale this time of year. So that means months of inventory is 1.2. This is the highest it's been in quite a while in Ottawa, but still very much a seller's market. And the composite benchmark price is about $750,000. That is up 9% from last year, but much like we're seeing in the GTA, this is down a little bit from the peak that we saw in February. Talking with local real estate agents, they did mention how that really nasty storm that ripped through really put a damper on the market. We probably would have seen more houses sell if that storm hadn't slowed everything down. So these numbers this month are a little bit skewed by that. I'm curious to see what happens next month, assuming we don't get another crazy storm in Ottawa. But it does appear that we're seeing the market trend in Ottawa to a more balanced market than what we've seen for the last 2 years. And the question becomes, how long does this slowdown last? And how far does the market decline? In Montreal, they had a little under 4,900 homes sold in the month. That's down 1%. Typically, it's just a little over 4,900 homes sold in the month. The 7,150 homes put up for sale in the month, well, that's up 12% over the 5-year average. Typically, a little under 6,000 homes would be put up for sale in the month. So that means active inventory is now at 11,300. That's still down 52% versus the 5-year average. Normally, Montreal this time of year, about 19,000 homes would be up for sale. So that means months of inventory is 2.3. And while prices year over year continue to rise in Montreal, it's up about 15%. That benchmark price of $572,000 is flattening from what we saw a few months ago. Now, for the local insight, I have a couple of crazy numbers for you. 12. That's the number of months in a row that the sales have declined in Montreal versus the previous year. 5, that's the number of months in a row that we see inventory rise. And 60%, that's the number of homes in Montreal that sold over asking last month. In Halifax, they had 708 sales, a massive jump from last month that is still down 23% from last year. They had 950 homes put up for sale in the month. That's up 21% from last year. 560 homes are currently for sale in Halifax. That is up nearly 60%. Again, remember last year there was virtually no homes for sale in Halifax. It still means though there's only 1.1 months of inventory in Halifax. And the average price in Halifax, $575,000, well, that is up 35%. That number of homes sold really shocked me because it's way up from what we saw last month, but still down from the year before. Again, Halifax is really crazy. The market is completely skewed right now by the strong demand and basically no inventory in the market. Although it looks like things are starting to turn a corner. We've seen months of inventory continue to increase. A few months ago, there was like 2 weeks of inventory. Now we've got about a month to a month and a half. So for a buyer, this is good news. We're starting to see things kind of balance out a little bit in Halifax, but it's still a very crazy market. I've often said it, and maybe not enough on this channel, that the perception of the Canadian real estate market can be very different than the reality of the Canadian real estate market. Perception right now around interest rates is that they're really high. They're going to continue to go up, up to infinity. It's going to be 10% rates just next week. And there's some truth that obviously interest rates are higher now than they were a few months ago, and they're probably going to be higher in a few months than they are today. I think everybody accepts that. The reality though is that interest rates today are lower than they were in 2019. So while there's all this fear about how high interest rates are, we were at astronomically record low rates before, and we're still not even back to what was at the time very low rates that we had in 2019. I said at the beginning of the video I wanted to talk a little bit more about Bald Prairie Real Estate, and the reason this video was so late is because I've been absolutely swamped with work. It's been extremely busy here, and it's meant that I haven't been able to get out the long form videos that I know you guys have been asking for me to get out. So I'm sorry I haven't been able to get out. I've just been so busy, and this video was late because I just could not get the time to sit down and record this for you guys and get it all edited. I'm really focusing down on trying to make sure that I have the time available to get out those videos for you guys, because I know you guys how much you like them and I want to do them for you. And that's why I brought on a young agent to help me out, which is going to take a lot of the stress away from me, and it's going to help make Bald Prairie Real Estate here in Regina a whole bunch better, because now you're not going to have just me. You're also going to have a second agent. His name is Bryce, who's going to be able to help you out, and I think it's going to make everything better. We're gonna have better videos out more regular because I'm gonna have more time to do it. And if you're buying a house in Regina, you're gonna have 2 people to help you out, not just 1. I've also got a more simplified version of my logo because I wanted to be able to put out some t-shirts and hats and stuff like that, mainly just for me to wear around Regina. But if anybody was really wanting a t-shirt or hat or something like that, get in contact with me and I'll figure out how to get you guys that. I mean, maybe a whole bunch of people want them and there's some sort of merch store. I mean, that's probably way down in the future, but I just wanted some cool stuff. So I've got a simplified logo. We'll throw that up on the screen so you guys can take a look at it. But again, guys, thanks very much for all the support. And I'm sorry that I've been so behind because I think it's been really busy here. I'm working on making these videos and getting them out quicker to you. But you know what isn't busy right now? This awesome playlist for first-time home buyers. That'll get you up to date if you're a first-time home buyer, with even more information about the process of buying a house in Canada. And this video right here is what the YouTube algorithm says you need to watch next on Bald Prairie Real Estate. Thanks very much for watching, guys.